please consider liking and subscribing. But we are here to discuss the Bengals and the Titans. Now, the Bengals got the victory 19-16. Man, this game was weird, crazy. I really don't know what words to put for this game. It being a low-scoring game, I thoroughly enjoyed this game from start to finish. Like, that's no question. Like, this game was very good from start to finish. A lot of questionable things happened, but the Bengals did end up getting the victory, and now the winner of the Chiefs-Bills game is going to determine who plays the AFC Championship game at home and will host the Bengals next week. But this game, man, where do we even begin? If we start with the Titans, they choked away a really good chance at a very good victory. 9 sacks on defense. They absolutely obliterated the Bengals offense. And a 9-sack performance that is completely wasted because you have a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill that's not good. He is not very good. He feels like a Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo kind of quarterback, and even Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, at least you can trust him at times. Now, I don't want to put all the fault on Ryan Tannehill. I don't think it's all his fault either. There was a lot of dumb coaching decisions made by the Titans. Like, the first interception of the game, like, that's fully Ryan Tannehill's fault. But the first play of the game, and you're running a pass play, and you have Derrick Henry back. I mean, you could use the logic, oh, we have Derrick Henry back, they're going to be expecting the run. And I'm like, with Derrick Henry, it doesn't matter. You're going to have success running the football with Derrick Henry no matter what. Like, 99 out of 100 times, you're going to run the ball successfully with Derrick Henry. So the fact that on the first play of the game, they came out passing the ball, it just made no sense to me whatsoever. There was a time later in the game where they ran a read option on 3rd and 1. And I'm just like, if you knew it was 4 down territory, why not just give it to Derrick Henry on 3rd down? Like, just give it to him on 3rd down. He'll get you that, yard, half a yard, foot, whatever it was. But instead, they run a read option with Tannehill, and then Derrick Henry just gets stuffed in the backfield. And I'm like, at least if you run the ball with Derrick Henry on 3rd down and don't get it, you at least have options on 4th down. You could still run the ball, or you could, do some trickery or whatever. But, like, come on, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Just 3rd and a foot, and you don't get a 1st down. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you can't do that. You literally cannot do that. You should have ran with Henry on the 3rd and 1. Like, you really should have. That was a bad decision. Now, there was times in this game where the Titans looked really good. Like, coming out of halftime, the Titans looked really good running the football. They were running the football down this Bengals' throats, and they had no response to it. And the Bengals knew they were running the football. Foreman couldn't be stopped. Henry couldn't be stopped. Not a single soul could be stopped on the Titans offense when it came to their run game. And then they decided to throw a screen pass. Mike Hilton tips it, and it's intercepted. Now, that's when the coaching comes involved. It's like, come on, you can't be making that. You can't be making that play call. And that you cannot. You're literally running the ball down the throats of the Bengals. And you could have, put them in a tough spot, because the Bengals offensively were not playing very good whatsoever in this game. I mean, Joe Burrow, credit to him. He got sacked 9 times, and he played great. But the Titans, I felt like if they had Ryan Tannehill, you can call him a C- quarterback. If they had even a C+ quarterback in this game, the Titans probably win this game, because you can't make those boneheaded interceptions. And that last one, you could argue, there was the one earlier in the game, it was tipped by Hilton, whatever. But then that last one, to me, when I saw the replay, and I could be just seeing things, that one looked like he was forcing into it. The defender came behind and tipped it from behind. And then, it was tipped up in the air, and then it was intercepted. And then that basically iced the game. And then Evan McPherson, which I think we should call him Ice McPherson, because that dude is absolutely clutch in the playoffs. Like, that dude does not miss. That dude he's so good. He's a great kicker. But, like, that situation, that one I blame fully on Tannehill. You can't force it in that situation. You either throw it out of bounds or something. And, like, there was even times in this game where the Titans had chances, because even, Joe Burrow, I thought, play as well as he could with that god-awful offensive line that he has. But then you have the interception by the Titans, which, I mean, that was a controversial call, whatever. But then A.J. Brown, like, at that moment, I'm like, okay, the Titans have life. A.J. Brown made a unbelievable catch. Like, that thing just stuck to his body. That was an unbelievable catch. And I'm like, okay, the Titans have a chance in this game. And the Titans coaching, was bad in this game. The quarterback play was bad for the Titans in this game. Like, people were upset that people kept disrespecting the Titans. And I think tonight showed 100% why. Like, you don't have a quarterback. As good as your defense is, your quarterback and your coach kind of put you in bad situations. Now, personally, do I think Mike Vrabel should still be considered coach of the year? Yeah, I do. But Ryan Tannehill stinks. Like, there's nothing about that. And then you look at the Bengals side of this game. Obviously, we look at the fact that Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. That offensive line is a joke. As a Chiefs fan, we saw that in the Super Bowl, and I think this performance by the Bengals offensive line was 1,000 times worse. And the one in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs was terrible. This was disgusting. Like, this offensive line was atrocious, terrible. It was a joke. It was nasty. This was an embarrassment of an offensive line that the Bengals have assembled here. Next year in the draft, they need to be drafting nothing but offensive linemen, or trading away picks, or trading away trades for offensive linemen, something. Like in the regular season, yeah, Jamar Chase, was a great pickup for that. That's a 17-game schedule. But when it comes down to crunch time in the playoffs, they got this victory tonight, but that offensive line is going to be the death of Joe Burrow and this football team. It's genuinely going to be the death of this football team. Because the way they played, and at the same time, I have no idea how the Chiefs lost to this Bengals team. I don't. I really do not. I don't get it. Like, you just have to get a pass rush on Joe Burrow, and it just feels like they're in trouble because the Bengals only scored 19 points in this game. They were not very good. On top of that, the Bengals had, for a team that's not penalized very much, had a lot of penalties in this football game. But you can chalk up the Bengals, they're tough. Like, Joe Burrow had an amazing game for the terrible situation he was put in. Jamar Chase is still very, very good. The Bengals, to start the second half, they got a little bit going there and were able to score right out of the gate. But it's just this offensive line is terrible, and it's going to get Joe Burrow hurt. And like, there was a couple times in this game where what was like a delay in the game, there was a timeout called or a delay of game, and the referees didn't blow the whistle, and Joe Burrow got hit twice on plays like that. Like, Joe Burrow is going to get hit because that's 11, or that's 2 more hits that Joe Burrow took that he shouldn't have had to take in this game. Like, that the offensive line was just disgusting in this game. And I personally believe, if we're just looking forward to either them playing the Chiefs or the Bills, the Chiefs-Bills game is truly the AFC Championship game, in my opinion. Like, this game was not good. Neither one of these teams, I don't think, have enough. Like, you have a solid defense for the Bengals. You have everything on offense for the Bengals, weapons and a quarterback, but they don't have an offensive line. Like, they even have a kicker. And as much as I think Evan McPherson's like one of the best kickers in the playoffs right now, yeah, the Bengals have a lot of work to do on that offensive line. And the fact that the Bengals continually do empty sets on offense and just leave Joe Burrow vulnerable all the time doesn't make sense to me. So there's a lot of things that the Bengals are going to have to fix going into next week, whoever they play, because the people they play next week, they're not, teams like the Titans that'll make silly mistakes. Like, the teams they're playing next week, the Bills, they know who they are. The Chiefs, they knew who they are. That they're going to throw the football. They're going to make the right plays. You're not going to get these freebies next week against Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. You're not going to get those lucky, interceptions and all these dumb play calls. You're not going to get that for the Bengals. And I know the Bengals, they beat the Chiefs earlier this season. Just the way the Bengals played, the last 2 weeks against the Raiders and now the Titans, the amount of times that they were deep in the red zone and they had to settle for field goals. Like, they're not beating the Bills or Chiefs with field goals. And they were able to beat the Raiders with some field goals, and they were able to beat the Titans with some field goals. So that's not happening with the Bills or the Chiefs. So they have a lot of work to do. But this game, for, as low scoring and disgusting it was still a very good game. Give me your thoughts down below what you thought of this game, and I'll see you in the next one.